Great. So, yet another morning as we start. Do you all want to say something to our audience, Betty ji, Shakti ji? Do you want to say something to them and then we'll get started?
Indu, we'll just do a few seconds introduction.
Yes, please go ahead.
And welcome. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to EMC session. We are fast approaching our session number 500, and this has been a very enterprising and learning, evolving journey for each one of us present on this platform. I welcome everybody who follows us on Facebook and who follows us on the YouTube channel. Today, we are going to be attending another interesting session by Indu, who, like Sukhdeepat sir, is full of interesting activities and ways to open our thought processes to the newer us. So let's welcome Indu, a gifted trainer, and let's begin our journey of today's learnings. Over to you, Indu. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Nitiji. The pleasure is all mutual, I would say, to connect with all of you here and all of our other friends who will be watching us and catching up with us sometime later as well. So we'll get started. So let's begin by asking ourselves one question. What is that one visit that is pending for each of you? To your ENT, to your ophthalmologist, to your dentist, to your orthopedician, your family physician. Just take a moment. I want to ask you, what is it that's pending? Your visit to your cardiologist, your family physician, dentist, your ENT, doctor, whomsoever. Just make note of it. When did you last visit one? And when is your next visit due? And it need not be some grave issues. Let's say, when is the last time you pampered yourself? When was your last visit to the salon or to the spa? When was the last time you had a pedicure or a manicure or a good hot oil massage for your head? Yes. Or a good stress relieving massage or a relaxation massage for your body. When was the last time you had one? Eons, I guess. And now write down, will you, when will you take one? When will you have one? Have you got a date or a time? I'm seeing some of you writing. I'm seeing some of you processing. Did you come up with a date or a time? Or was it still something vague, like, acha, let's see, sometime this week, maybe next month? It's already November. Maybe let me wait for one more month. December, Christmas, New Year will be in the air. Let me wait for offers, or let me wait for the celebration mood to begin. Let it coincide with that part of the year when everyone's full of bursting with self-care routines. Let me put it for that. What was it like for you? Did you instantly come up with a date sometime this weekend, sometime next week? Or did you put it off? What's the voice in your head? I would say good for you if you actively chose to act on it. With some kind of a reminder nudge, like what I just did by reminding you, in case if you've already been putting off. Yes, Nitiji, I got it. Putting off. And now, will you watch your internal process? What makes you put it off?
Can I?
Please go ahead.
It's my lack of giving it priority, though it's for myself, but I am not giving it priority.
Yes.
With no specific reason.
I get it. I get that. Yes. And sometimes when the reasons are aplenty, we tend to think there's no particular reason, right? There are so many justifications that will come up. If you sat down to inquire further, let's just process what is it for each of you here. What are those voices in your head which is keeping you off from taking care of yourself? What does it tell you? Sometime later, yes, obviously, the underlying message could be, I am not important. It may sound a little confrontational or radical if I put it too soon, but let's accept it. Right? Because, sometimes we have taken schooling pretty much seriously when our English teachers perhaps taught us, put the donkey behind, you offer, even while you're writing grammatically, they would say, "Mm, Sheila and I went to the theater to watch this musical show." They constantly remind you, it's not I and him who went
Yeah.
out, or I and her who did this, but it is rather the other person before you and then I. Of course, they had their justifications for putting it out, but then if we held on to it too seriously, it's a conditioning, isn't it, that the I comes later. Of course, it would have helped us in many ways to keep the ego in check. Yes, that's one way of looking at it. But somehow, over the years, for many of us, we could have discounted the importance of the I. And to add one more layer, put the donkey at the last. And what were they even doing by giving us that kind of an attribution that either we were less important or we were hardly important? And that somehow got played out in our ways of being elsewhere, isn't it? Let's go on to some other examples in our life, right? So today we'll be talking about how do you bring back the attention and focus onto yourself. I don't know if all of you got an opportunity to look at the um, title for today's topic, right? So it reads in small fonts. For some reason, if you have missed, I'm just reminding you. Today we are going to be talking about being selfish. How does that sound to you? Do you feel okay while you hear it? Or is there resistance that's coming up? Whatever it is, stay with it. Because we'll look at what else we can explore in this context if you stay long enough, with even if there's disturbance and resistance at this point in time, right? So being selfish, what does that mean or sound to you like right now before we begin?
Surely doesn't sound comfortable.
Surely doesn't sound comfortable. Yes. What is the meaning we have given to that adjective, selfish?
Um, Selfish has always been putting yourself above others,
Mm,
irrespective of how negative one can go.
mm-hmm,
Even if you
mm-hmm,
go negative, you go negative, but you put yourself
mm-hmm.
over others, and that
Yeah.
somehow has never been the conditioning
Yes.
throughout, whether it's been families or school or social circle. That's never been the conditioning.
Mm, I get that. I get that. So dictionary meaning has also contributed to that conditioning, isn't it? Because it says thinking only about your own needs or wishes and not about other people's, right? And we have grown up thinking that selfish behavior makes one nasty, isn't it? So somehow we have equated nastiness to being selfish, right? What if I were to give you an alternative frame of reference today. Are you willing to even explore that? Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging. So I'm just reading out a quote by, just a sec. It says, let me first give it to you. Let me give the quote to you, and then we'll look into who says it and what it means for you at this point, right? The quote goes like this. It says, selfishness at the expense of others is best. Selfishness at the expense of others is best when self-care for the betterment of others is good. By Richie Norton. I'm repeating it, right? Selfishness at the expense of others is bad. Selfishness at the expense of others is bad. Self-care for the betterment of others is good. What is opening up for you as you read or as you hear it? When you stay selfish, thinking and consumed only by your own needs at the cost of another person, at the expense of your family, your neighbors, your colleagues, being insensitive to their needs or brushing aside their needs, then it becomes bad. However, self-care is good for you and for the betterment of the other. And we'll explore a little more on that. What would happen? Konanji wanted to share something. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Very good morning,
Good
Indraji.
morning.
So this quote, ma'am, what you shared,
Mm.
this gentleman has given the meaning about the selfishness and self-care,
Mm.
and we call it as a quote.
Mm.
So this was his meaning.
Mm.
So is this the ultimate meaning of self-care shall we take, or shall we explore more? That's the thought coming to me. Sir.
Exactly. Like you said, it's his point of view. And at any given time, we take what is empowering for us, isn't it? You will choose to make the meaning that is most convincing and empowering for you. Right? So he's not saying selfishness is good. He's saying selfishness at the cost of others is bad. And he's saying self-care is good for you and for the other. We'll explore. Like you said, shall we
Yeah,
explore to find out a little more?
got it. Thank you, ma'am.
Most welcome. We'll just explore. Let's say, have you come across a, it can be someone who's close to you, your your sister, your wife, or your daughter, any of them going through this phase of maternity, pregnancy, post-pregnancy, and how they take care of a child. A common scenario in most households, how they care for the mother when she's carrying the child within. We have all witnessed that, been witness to that, isn't it? So what do? They ensure that the mother, expecting mother, is well fed, well nourished, does not have any undue stress at that point, so that she can deliver a healthy, happy baby, isn't it? And the mother herself makes that a priority, isn't it? To feed herself well, to keep herself well hydrated, well nourished. Therefore, she can produce this healthy child to the world. It's a gift that she's giving herself and to the world, isn't it? By nurturing her, she ensures that her child is nurtured, well nourished as well. But what happens when the umbilical cord just gets cut and separated? Life turns around, isn't it? Even the postnatal period for a while, 3 months, 6 months, let's say even 1 year, when she's still nursing the child, She's still taken care of. She still has all those supplements and nutritious food. Therefore, she can take good care of the child, isn't it? And then what happens after this 1 year? Everything just weans off, like the child is being weaned off the mother's. Her care, self-care routine also gets weaned off somewhere, isn't it? She stops taking those iron supplements, those vitamin supplements, those calcium extra supplement, whatever, whether it came in the form of medicine or it came in natural a form of food. Somehow all of that takes a back seat, isn't it? Women will identify more, but of course, that's why I said if you watched closely what happens, you will notice, right? Just because we consider ourselves not anymore as important. Some kind of an unconscious dethroning happens, isn't it? The moment you realize a woman is expecting a child for the family, they have put her on a pedestal, showered all of that attention and love and care and all of this nourishment routine happen. And what happens after? She is still very much the same individual who needs all of this. But something shifts. And as a society, we are conditioned. We are witnesses, we are spectators to this. It's not about women. I have women alone. I'm just going on to give this example so that we then can apply to all others as well. There is this connection, isn't it, that continues even when the children grow up. The mother needs to have that strength to take care of a toddler. In fact, she runs all the more behind a toddler and would need more strength and energy to take care of the little one. How much better her life would be if she continued to take care of herself, or if there were people who were entrusted genuinely, with this concern to take care of the mother as well. That's why most mothers get grumpy, cranky after a while, right? 2-3 years after running behind little ones, they get a little cranky because somewhere they have been neglected, and it becomes obvious by the day. And just imagine now for the men folk here as well. What happens? All along through your schooling, let's say, there is this very significant, let's say mother here, but let's say as a whole, it could be grandmothers, aunts, mothers, older sisters. It can be any primary caregiver, let's say. All of those growing up years, you are on a pedestal in some way or the other, right? Taken care of. Somebody's, serving you food onto your plate. Somebody's picking it up for you. Somebody's washing your clothes. Somebody's drying them for you. Somebody's doing your laundry. Somebody's packing your food for school. Somebody's dropping you, picking up, whatever it is. And while you're in college, okay, you need to get in to crack those entrance exams, right? Those so-called um, highly significant entrance exams, whether it is to the medical college or to your engineering. Just look at children, young children of today, both male and female, but let's talk about male counterparts right now for a few seconds. Your coffee is on your table, it's picked up, everything, your shoes are polished. And if you come an exam, you are the princess of that home, right? Exam time, no work, absolutely. Kuch mat karna kaam. Don't do anything. Everything will come onto the table, will go out of you. You treated like royals, nothing short of royals, no, in home. And what happens after you pass that examination, that college, when you walk out with your degree, and then oof, you are on your own in a different country, right? Till you get that admission, you have that royal treat. And after that, are you not as important? Then you have to go fend for yourself. Now you're on your own. You have to make your own food. You have to make your own bed. You have to, polish your own shoes. You have suddenly, you're just on your own. And then you are not told how do you treat yourself. Everyone says just keep that job, slog, make your money, make your home. Suddenly it becomes your responsibility to make a home for your, future family. What happens? Again, some kind of a dethroning happens, isn't it? And at that time, how many mothers or fathers tell you while you're working, nourish yourself, keep yourself. Now, of course, thanks to social media, it keeps saying, and if somebody, some loved one is saying all the time, no, loudspeaker in your ear, keep yourself hydrated, have your meals, keep your, go for your health checkup. Thanks against to pharmas, whatever industry, they keep saying, have you got your routine health checkup, master checkups done? In how many households do you find your family members asking you that question? Have you asked, have you got your master checkup done this year? Right? So what happens? Again, how many men are told? Let's just honestly look around and answer, okay? While they told you, okay, do this, these are the skills you need to acquire, these are the credentials that you need to get, these are the courses that you need to do, this course after that, and this extra classes for this will help you, scale up your promotion. As you are told all of that, how many colleagues, how many brothers, how many siblings, how many neighbors told you, also ensure you're eating well? How many of them tell you, take care of your hair, take care of your eyes, take care of your neck? How many of them tell you, ensure you have an ergonomic chair that supports you when you're sitting 8 hours at your job? How many of them, how many of your family members even know what kind of a chair you are sitting on? Does your wife or son know whether your office space is well ventilated? Do they even know the lighting is harsh on your eyes or not? Do they know whether you've done your some bit of an eye exercise or an eye massage, something when you're staring 13 hours onto your screen? You're working for them, you're taking back the money, you pay their college fees, you ensure the Sunday holiday brunches happen as the breadwinner of the family or the head of the family. Is it not important for you to ensure your back is fine, your neck is fine, your stretch breaks are there, you walk enough, you get enough air? Is it not important for you to take care of yourself? What's opening up for you right now? Would any of you want to share with where you are right now? Yes, Kunanji, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Induji. I think it's very profound. I'm able to resonate. The thoughts coming to me, we are talking about self
Yes,
and we are talking about care.
yes.
So, what's the meaning we are giving to self? What's the meaning we are giving to care? That also matters a lot, I believe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right now, what does that mean to you, self?
Well, for me, it's not definitely this body and this mind and this material.
Mm-hmm.
For me, self is the soul, uh, which was definitely pure
Mm-hmm.
when it was put into this body.
Mm-hmm.
And now conditioning has happened.
Mm-hmm.
It has got impure.
Mm-hmm.
With my awareness, I have to make it pure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I can take care of myself if I
Mm-hmm.
say I am a soul.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be extra alert that no external influence will make me impure.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I have become impure, how can I get it pure?
Mm-hmm.
And how can I take care of all the external influences
Mm-hmm.
so that I keep myself pure?
Yeah.
So that's coming to me, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Of course, you will have other sources, scriptures, help of mentors who will, fill you in on with what you need to do to take this journey forward. Right now, since you brought it up here, I'm just sharing something that's crossing my mind here. I am told this, and I'm sharing that with you as well. Mm. Are there certain things that you want to do while you are still here in this birth? There are some duties to be fulfilled. There are certain things that you want to achieve. Of course, it is the soul's purpose, let's say. How will the soul be able to take care of, attend to all of this? get a lot of things done, right? How will that become possible if we do not fuel or nurture the vehicle in which the soul is traveling? Is it not a legitimate need to take care of this body, which is our vehicle, to accomplish all that you want to accomplish? Let's say now, as you on this planet, is it rightful need for you to take care of this body? All those grand plans that we have, noble plans, for it to be executed, would it be useful and helpful for you to take care of this body while you are still in it? Just a question to
Yeah.
stay with. The journey is somewhere. I have a destination, but if I am traveling by my car, do I need to keep it fueled, overhauled? Do I need to service my car well enough? Because my destination is important, clearly, but my process and my tools also are important. Without refilling my fuel, I can't perhaps get there. So if this overhauling of the system does not happen at regular intervals, my journey itself becomes questionable. Or rather, looking at it another way, my journey can be that much more, I can cover that much more space and that much more miles if I am taking this and keeping it top end, right? If I take care of myself, that's what I want to leave you with, right? Like how you care for your car. If you were to care for your body, how much more useful can it become for your mission? That's the point of our discussion today. Shantiji, yes, I see that your hand is raised. Is there something you would like to share?
Good morning, Induja.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I think the foundation is awareness.
Yes.
We're missing that conscious awareness.
Yes.
And because of that, we give priorities to some other thing, and we don't know the right kind of priority. And
True.
because of that, we end up in some problems.
Mm-hmm.
So the foundation is awareness. The person who is happy alone can make the other person happy.
Yes.
If you are sacrificing yourself and you are not happy, you cannot make the other people happy.
True. Thank you. Thank you for echoing some of our, some of the points of that are being discussed here. Thank you. Beautifully put, right? So you take care of others when you take care of yourself. I'm seeing a lot of, what can I say, processing that's happening. Stay with it. And it's okay. Because there's this constant question coming up, isn't it? How can I do this? Because somewhere we have equated taking care of the self to being, this evil person who does not care for the other. That is our interpretation. Who said you are not free and available to take care of others? Because somewhere it got tainted like that. If you took care of yourself, you are neglecting others. You are not wanting to provide for others. That is a color that we have painted to the word self-care, self-love. That I become something like these evil stepmothers in fairy tales who are being nasty to the children, to other people in the family, and only their needs are heightened. I'm saying you are important. I am not saying only you are important. There is a difference. All I mean to say is, while others are important, you are also important. It doesn't make you any less so bad of a person by treating yourself with that love, compassion, importance, which you give and offer to other people. Seva is important. Service is important. But to be able to do that service in the highest, in your highest capacity, you need to be functional and be operating at your highest capacity, potential, isn't it? Your seva can be that much more effective when you are taken care of and functioning at your optimal levels, for which you need to tend to yourself. That is all that I'm saying. A famished gardener does not do a great job of taking care of his garden. It's very important to water, to prune, to manure, to toil in your garden to create that beautiful, set of plants. But imagine what's the energy you will be putting if you are famished, if you are going hungry, if you're starved, if you're wobbling, you can't walk, your eyes are blurred because you are, you have not taken care of yourself. How can you nurture that wonderful garden? Is it not legitimate a need for you to take care of yourself? And how much better you will be able to serve the garden, be in service of the garden, the plants there, if you were healthy, active, smart, intelligent. You would bring that much more better care, isn't it? Let's look at the corporates. They have their schedules, right? They go to the work, they do ensure their workouts, they ensure their nutrition, they're taking care of their mindfulness routines, and they surround themselves with great set of friends, great set of books, a great ambience. Everything is about the vibes, everything is about luxury, everything is about what can I say, a good quality of lifestyle that they lead, and therefore they're coming up with better ideas to serve the world. I'm not talking, that's a different discussion for another day, like how they will swindle, manipulate, exploit the labor. I'm not going into those. Every world will have 10% of those people who are, wanting things for themselves to grab everything. And every world who will have that set of people who neglect themselves entirely and provide for the world. This is 10% of this extreme and 10% of this extreme. Abandoning their own self, putting everyone in front of them, is that 10% here in one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum, that selfishness stretched to the extreme bit, right? I get everything, every bit of blood and energy suck it out of other people who work for me, who are around me, like those energy vampires. We just suck everything out, live a parasitic life. So these are two extremes, 10% and, but majority of us fall in the in between bracket of 80%, right? And we still choose to believe like everyone else is important and I don't matter. So can we just take a mid path approach? While you take care of others, can you go, whenever needed, can you go and take care of yourself as well? So if we are at this midpoint, when needed, we provide for the other, but when needed, we provide for ourselves, then come back. So how would life be if we were there taking a mid path?
Balanced.
Absolutely. And I want to also leave you with another template. We have, at some point, we have taken those flights, to different places, right? And however you choose to ignore the flight attendant who is giving us a set of precautions, who does their bit of telling us what to do, what not to do. Even if we choose to take it for granted, if we distract ourselves, some part of it, either our eyes or our ears are open to that, right? Somehow we get that message, some bit of it still goes inside, right? And one very crucial, apart from telling you about the seating arrangements and the toilet placements and the exit gates, what does it convey to you? It tells you to take care of yourself, right? When you want that water, ask for it. When you want that food, let us know. When you want to use the restroom, it is available here. These are all biological basic needs, right? And they are, you don't need to be told about it, but then it is a reminder that they're giving to take care of yourself while you're on that flight, isn't it? And you feel good, right? Pampered and taken care of when somebody is telling you that this is there. Make use of these facilities. And not just facilities, in times of crisis, that's the next bit, right? They tell you what to do. They tell you where the emergency exits are. They tell you to first exit. They don't tell you grab 15 other people and go out. Of course, a hero does that. Of course, a hero gets a Paramveer Chakra or a Bharat, whatever, for doing that bit of that brave. Yes, but it takes an exceptional hero to do that, right? We can train ourselves to be that. Even then, what do they first tell you? If the oxygen level drops, they say, just take and help yourself first. Does that make you a bad person if you reached out to your mask first? Let's just ask that. Does it make you selfish? Of course, if you are traveling as a family, you are this mother, you are this father, you have your child, you have your aged parent by your side, you have your spouse whom you love to the death, whatever it is. And in times such as that, I'm sure you want to reach out for them, but they constantly tell you to wear yours. You know, I want to bring out something that you may be missing here. Just stay with me for another moment. If you think that you are selfish to rush for your mask, let's say, and then you are, questioning, should I wear mine or should I put on to that? Let me just remind you, while you are reaching out to yours for yours, don't you think your wife or mother or child, of course, very young child, we take that condition later, they are also reaching out for their mask at that time, isn't it? And what makes you think that they are not capable of taking care of yourself? Isn't that discounting the other person's ability to think for themselves, to act for themselves? We are playing rescuers at that time. And while playing rescuers, it means one up, one down position. We are thinking that it is noble, that we sacrifice, we are rescuing, we are helping. It is a virtue to help, to be kind, to rescue. Also, the subliminal message is, you can't take care of yourself. I and I alone will take. I have to take care of you. Just look at that. Like how some of you may have an alternative thought that self-care means I am neglecting others, but this your sacrifice and your excessive attribution to be kind and compassionate and service mindedness, if you stretch that bit without your awareness, if you make that more proportionally significant than what it is, in some ways you may be undermining the value of the other person to take care of themselves. Before they grab their water, if you're there handing it out, acha le lo water, have. Before they go and fend for themselves, get their food on their plate, here, let me serve you. It's good to be kind, it's good to be have those etiquettes. It's good to offer. Also be in allowance of them to do what they are supposed to be doing for themselves and for the other. What's the message you're sending out? You can't take care of yourself, let me get this for you. And then you make the wife or the mother or the father, keep them in a place of that victim position, that somebody has to come and help me. They will take care of them. See, there is no need for service when everybody is doing their duty. In a world or society that is responsible, there is not even need for service. You don't have to play this I am the one who sacrifices game if everyone is taking care of themselves. I don't have to forego of my meal if you are eating yours. And somewhere we also get conditioned to that extreme state where mother is going empty to feed the child. Somewhere the message again underlying is as if we are living in abject poverty, which is not the case. Of course, we have one section of the society living there, That's another discussion. We'll attend to them when, when we meet them, when we deal with them, we'll take care of that. But let's talk about the people in the room right here. We somehow believe as if we are these warriors, to take care of the entire society, entire family. And we are not those mothers who don't have food on our plate, who don't have food in our kitchen, pantry, that we have to go empty, starving to feed all the members in the family and then come back to feed ourselves. What would happen if you had that one piece of sandwich before you served your children breakfast? Will that make you a evil person? No. As an elderly person, as a father, what will happen if you had your meal along with your children, along with your wife? What if you had your wife also sit and eat with you while you are eating? It's okay. What if you bought yourself that gadget? I do remember all my growing up years. My mother had, even when she was working, she was an officer at a government department. While I was still in my master's in college, she bought me much more expensive phones for me to use. And she got herself a phone much later. I'm talking about mobile. She got herself much later. Of course, that's love. But I'm saying it wouldn't make her any less of a person if she bought one for herself before. And even when she bought one for herself, what she had bought for me were much more advanced versions than what she had bought for herself. I've had to tell her many times to shop for her just as much as she would shop for me. I can see a lot of disturbance, lot of ideas, lot of thoughts, and it's okay. The healing will happen once you begin the process. Like Shantiji just told us, awareness is the key, right? It'll follow.
But
Now,
ma'am, it is if you feel this is inborn in you, what can you do? I am like that. I cannot change. I mean, everybody is on the table. If a
Yeah.
spoon is needed, there are young people, but I just get up like a spring.
yeah,
I don't want it. I want to
yes,
come down. I want
yeah,
to come down there, but
yeah,
it's not happening.
not
It's not
happen.
happening.
Yes. So to your question, of course, it's a crude example, but just see if it helps you. Were there these sophisticated gadgets when you were a young child? Did you have those mixers, grinders, these blenders, OTGs, microwave ovens, the smartphones? Did you have all of them when you were growing up?
No.
And as time went by, when these came, did you start embracing and do you use all of them now?
Yes.
You're the same person. You taught yourself to use them, isn't it? To work with them
Right.
because you told yourself so.
Okay.
And now, what if you told yourself, calm down, let them do their bit? What if you told yourself that? It just needs a little more of that practice, right? Those were
Okay.
not new, those were not things you were used to, right? You got used to it.
Okay. Right.
Similarly, it's an alternative point of view right now that you want to introduce. It may be new, like you said, I'm like that. So now you have a new frame to operate from. All you have to do is
No,
put
but if
that.
I feel if I work the other way, I'm not comfortable.
Ha.
It plays on my mind. I don't like.
So what I'm saying is this is another interpretation. No, not to do for the other is not the point of discussion. If you're happy, comfortable, serve them. I'm only saying also take care of yourself. Somehow see the orientation has been why should I pull, stop back, apply those brakes and not serve them? That's an interpretation you have made, isn't it? I don't have to run to offer whatever to my younger ones at home. That's not at all the purview here. How can you relax? How can you take care of yourself? How can you nurture yourself? That's the point of discussion. Thanks for
Right.
bringing that up, right? If it's your need to pull back, then we'll talk about it. But you're saying you're comfortable doing it. So be it. Good for the family,
Oh,
good for you. Go ahead.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Nitiji, yes,
Thank you.
there's something I wanted to ask.
Yes, I was just picking up the conversation between you and Hasina ji, and what was coming to me was somewhere maybe we look at a situation only in one way, that this is what I need to do, this is what I've been doing, and
Yes.
hence I will continue doing.
Yes.
Whereas we forget that it is also our responsibility to make other people as responsible, as mature. For
Exactly.
example, getting up from a table is while you're eating is a very big thing. You know, there are a lot of people who don't take it well. And
Mhm,
then there are a lot of people who keep doing it because
mhm,
it is the need of the moment.
mhm.
And what my life experiences has shown me is, you know, if we can do it, so
Mhm.
can others. And there are times when we, you know, like you teach a child, you
Mhm.
teach your younger ones, and you
Yes,
teach, you don't even don't only teach younger, you teach across also.
true.
So that role we tend to forget somehow.
Mhm.
And we keep loading it on ourselves till we begin to scatter.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Right.
Scatter, and in some uh, cases disintegrate to the point of actually becoming a total wreck. Scatter
Yes,
was
I
very
get that.
mildly put, I would say, in many households, right? To the point that they break from within, right? And until once someone told me, pointed out, and very strongly, I didn't know I was overdoing the empathy bit. And this was very recent, let's say just about 3 years back. I thought it was like many of you would now be. I thought empathy was a virtue, and it is, no doubt. Anything beyond proportion doesn't serve you good, right? Goodness also beyond a measure isn't good enough. So I thought empathy was great, to understand where the other person is coming from, to do whatever in my might is possible to do. Somebody's shuffling for a notepad, just dish it in for them. Somebody's looking for something, even before they have exhausted their resources, just offer it to them, something like that, doing that over someone's. Even before a client would ask, I may not be able to pay, before even they ask, I need 2-part payment, why not I offer a rebate, that overdoing that bit. Someone is struggling for work, then okay, provide them with something to even finish the sentences, something like that. And then once I was pointed out, in the what you're going through is not just empathy, perhaps you're doing too much of it at the cost of your own self, and burning out is happening. And he said that's messiah complex, that I want to take care of everyone, I want to provide for everyone's need. I was told it is not always a virtue, because you don't please everyone by attempting to please everyone. And most importantly, you don't end up pleasing yourself when you go on that grand mission to please everyone. This unhappy person, burnt out person, cannot quite serve the world, yeah, to the best of their ability. So it's okay to take a back seat, unwind, to provide, refill your energy. It's okay. That's what I want to leave you all with. Ramaji, yes, I see your hand raised. Anything that you want to share?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Indiji. It is really very intense and powerful. So one thing which comes up to my mind is self-care is the starting point of self-love.
Yes.
Many a times we keep saying self-love, self-love. So how does one go about doing that? I think this is the first step. I see that.
Yes.
So instead of doing this, taking care of myself and having self-love,
Mm-hmm.
what I expect is love from others.
Hmm.
And I assume the love
Yes.
from others
Mm.
come only when uh, they see me sacrificing, they see me
Yes.
suffering, right? So that's the assumption. So we
Yes.
seek the love
Yes.
from others
Yes.
by putting us down,
Yes.
is what the
Yes.
thought came to me.
So when you put the other person on the pedestal, and when then you rip yourself of all, even your basic needs, and
Right.
then you will be hailed as a caregiver.
Yeah. But
You
that's
are valued by in measure for your sacrifices.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because that is not,
Unfortunate. Yes.
when you objectively look at it, it is not a great thing. Right?
Yes.
Expecting
Yes.
somebody else to pull you up or putting
Yes.
yourself down and pull up.
Yes.
So the right
Exactly.
thing to do is, as you say, that take care of yourself and then you can take care of others much more.
Exactly
And
my
that,
point.
from that, from that self-love comes, but if from that the others also will love, that love is much more
Yes.
strengthening and positive than the other, what to say, empathetic love or pitiful love is what I
True.
would. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True. Thank you for sharing that, because when you said objectively, just imagine this visual. See, somewhere if you are here and if a person falters, some young child, somebody was saying, how do I provide care for a young one, or maybe an aged person? So you're here, you have your ground, and then you lift another person, it's fine. But let's say you are bringing yourself down, you are denying yourself of your needs, and you are in the pit yourself. How can you offer help while
Correct.
you are in a one down position? How can you lift? And even if
Yeah.
you support another person to get up, you're still left behind, isn't it? How
Right.
much more, how many more people can you help from being in the pit? And from that pit, you will keep digging your grave even further, no? You're not stopping there also. And when you keep going even further down, how many people can you serve? From rock bottom, how many can you serve? So if
Actually,
you
that is
elevate
another
it,
point.
hmm,
Yeah, that is another point. In fact, if I take care of myself, I can take care of more people, and it is a more
exactly,
responsibility. And there is a more
precise,
responsibility to take care of myself and others. And
exactly.
unconsciously, I like not to take, not to take that responsibility
Ah,
and become lazy. So that is one reason why I put myself down
yes,
rather than taking care of myself and others.
true.
I unconsciously expect somebody else to take care of me.
Yes.
Right? So that
Exactly
is
the
another
point of discussion. Yes, thanks. You nailed it and brought it there as well. Because I wanted to give the closure to where we started. How many of you are still sitting with your pending visits to your doctors, your therapists, your salon specialists, whatever? It can be simple. It even that coffee meeting at a coffee shop with a friend compared to a cardiologist with it, it's not more important or less important. If your doctor, he can only hope open the heart out, right? But your friend will also make you open your heart out. This you're doing willingly. You laugh, live happily. You don't even need that cardiologist visit sometime later. So your friend is just as much more important. That visit to the theater or to the music concert is just as much important, to the temple, to the market bazaar. To treat the child in you with joy is so much more important than your visits to, you know, your experts as well. So I'll just take Takyudanji's question and then come back to give our starting a closure. Yes, Takyudanji, please go ahead.
Yeah, this one, Sir Ramaji said, we don't have that conditioning of even spouse or someone, loved one is thinking if someone is taking care, that means they're neglecting us.
Yes.
Why they are taking care about that?
Mm.
That's the one thing. Second part, most of the movies or pictures, everything saying that story only. They're conditioning
Yes.
that way. Even if you see some Bollywood movie, hero in sacrificing, that sacrifice matter is conditioned too much. I feel
Yes.
that.
Absolutely right. In fact, until 8 years back, in one session, it broke that for me. I was thinking hailing sacrifice, and almost coincided with the time when I had my child as well. So taking care of the child is like a priority. It's a sacrifice. Yes, but then I was told, one of my teachers at that time pointed out. She said, "Sacrifice is nothing but a choice you make. You choose to over glorify it, but end of the day it's only a choice. You will do it only if the choice suits you. It's a choice that you're making, at some, I'm just saying example, if you choose not to get married and then take care of your parents, the world will call it sacrifice because you stayed back to take care of an aged parent. But that is a choice you have made. End of the day, it's end of story. I have not eaten to feed my children. That's a choice you have made. Sacrifice is a very glorious fancy term we give, but end of the day you have chosen not to eat and put that food on somebody's plate. You have chosen not to sit down and offer that seat to somebody else. You call it sacrifice, but it's a choice you have made. It's a choice you have made to, stay back at the queue and offer somebody else, to go in front of you. You think it is sacrifice, but it's a choice that you make. If we retain that, keep it to where it belongs, it's a choice, then the other side of the story will not seem so awkward or awful. That it's a choice I'm taking to treat myself today. It's a choice I'm making to make myself a priority today. It's a choice. It's just a choice. I don't become nasty. Like how sacrifices, if sacrifice is hailed, then self-care will have to be condemned. Are you getting that? If you are hailing somebody who's, denying their responsibilities and need and calling it, a hero or worshipping the person for the sacrifice, then you will condemn the society on the other end of the spectrum, will condemn people who will take care of themselves. And that's not what we want. You be loved and respected to take care of yourself and bring down that other glorification also. Let they will do their bit to take care of themselves. I want to close this session by talking about a friend many years ago, about 12 years ago. I was actually a little shocked and scandalized when she said that. It was the time of Karwa Chauth, where women in that part of our country fast for the well-being of the husband the entire day, and to help ensure his health and safety and all of that is in place. And here there was a very modern woman that I came across. When one group of women were all fasting through the day, she went to the parlor. Okay, she just took care of herself, pampered herself, everything, head to toe, all services at the beauty salon, and then bought herself new clothes, got ready for the evening ritual and puja, and then went. Then when we had a conversation, while we were talking, we were bringing up about how others are doing this bit about fasting and puja and rituals, and she said, Indu, that's their way of serving the husband, this is mine. And she said, I wasn't even married at that time, and she said, um, I too wish and care for the health and happiness of my husband. A happy wife makes a happy husband, she said. And while I take care of myself, I show that I care for him. I take groom myself well enough. I keep myself healthy, happy, you know, safe and fine, so that I make my partner comfortable and his needs are taken care. I will be this healthy, happy person who can cook for him. His lifespan will get expanded if I am healthy and take care of his needs, is what she said. Again, Konanji may say that's her point of view. I'm saying, yes, her point of view, but what works for her, it works for her. Right? So you can have alternative points of view, is what I'm saying, rather than having, getting boxed to one set of point of views where only fasting, my husband, I am a good wife. She broke that for me that day. She said, yes, well groomed, happy husband is also, being dutiful as a wife. And it's changed my perspective that day. So that's about it. And I want to come back to give a closure to what we started. Take care of yourself. If you're giving yourself excuses, I have this project, I have that commitment, my son's exam, I cannot set aside this. Don't behave like your life depended on this, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4,000 that you will be spending on your own self-care. No, you spend a few thousands on yourself, you will be able to be this much better happy person, can bring about thousands and crores of deals to take care of the family. This is a lack mindset, that if I spend on myself, I am doing them wrong. No, you will do them a favor by keeping yourself hale and healthy. You don't have to neglect, allow them also to take care of themselves, is the underlying point. And your children do not learn from what you say, ask them to do. They learn from watching you. So if a mother keeps saying, apni khayal rakhna beta, apni khayal rakhna beta, you take care of yourself, take care of. But a mother who goes starving, who doesn't eat, who develops diabetes, and blood pressure because she's not having a meal, how does it reach the energy? just keep saying, take care of yourself to your child all the time while you are not taking care of yourself, it is not working that way. Right. And also, all of you who have this point of view that I am this person who's sacrificing, I neglected my meals, I used to forego my meal so that I can put food on my children's plate. Just remember, you're not doing them a favor, because they will be spending all that much more money on your medicines and your doctor visits much later. So it's better to eat happy, healthy meals, take care of yourselves now if you really love your children. So self-care is needed. It's not a choice. That's what I want to leave you all with. So thank you once again for being such a lovely, receptive audience like always, and for all your sharings and interactions. So on that note, I'll hand it over once again to our host.
Yeah, good.
Can I take Niti, just to closure 1 or 2 minutes?
Thank you, Indu. That was another very interesting and an eye-opening session. Yes, self-care is very important, and it does not diminish us if we also keep ourselves at par in importance to all others around us. It will only help us serve much better and perform much better for ourselves and others around us. The examples that you shared have been very deep, and I'm sure each one of us will, through the rest of the day, be thinking about these, and we will be making the positive changes in our lives. Thank you so much for your interesting session. And I will just take a moment to correct myself. At the start of the session, I erroneously said we are approaching session 500. I am wrong.
600.
We are, yes, we are approaching session 600. So I just wanted to correct that. And before we close today's session, let's have the Thirukul and the Shayas. Today we've got Kuldeep ji also with us. So Vetri, would you like to begin first?
Thank you, Niti. And Tirukural, definitely I'll look into it. But before that, I would like to take a minute to share what I feel after listening to our great Induji. Actually, skeptical people say, when you give them a medicine, they say, what? I have this much big disease, but you give me one capsule and it is small capsule solves all my problem. I was like that. You have lived half of your life, you accumulated so many unwanted things, and you have rest of life, you need to achieve so many things. But one session, if you 1 hour somebody comes and talks, can clear up all those things and give us a great vision and life, it is possible. Thank you very much, Ji. It is some magic. I take away 3 things from this session. First session is, correct me if my understanding is wrong. 3 things I would like to, you reaffirmed me by spending your valuable 1 hour with us in the morning. First thing is, choose you. Second thing is, self-care is not selfish. Third thing is, take care of yourself for the sake of others. Let them take care of themselves for the sake of you. Thank you very much for this amazing session. In fact, I can tell all my friends as a ritual that before starting your day, see this session one time and go back to your life. Your life will show you in a very different way. Thank you very much for this, Indraji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nitiji, I just want to pass mic to Punenji. We'll have to Tirupur tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you for encapsulating in 3 points, our whole session. Thank you.
Thank you, Betriji. Thank you, Nitiji. And thank you, of course, Indu ma'am, for a very profound, very important session, which we all must reflect upon every moment. So what is coming to me as a takeaway is, when you talk about self-care, when you talk about this body, the most important part in our body is the heart. So that should be the focus. So my extension of thought is, take care of your heart, because if that gets impure because of conditioning or whatsoever the meanings we give it to life, then it's a big challenge. And if we take care of our heart, then heart will take care of the body, and then things would be as we do expect, whatsoever purpose of our life is. So that's what is my takeaway. And thank you so much for your kind words and all the insights and all the nuggets of wisdoms.
Thank you.
So shall we invite Kuldeep sir for his thought
Sure.
and his shairi of the day? Please, friends, let me help and welcome Mr. Kuldeep Chaturvedi to all of you.
Sure.
Kuldeep sir.
At the outset, a very insightful session and very eruditely explained by Induji. Wonderful. Thank you. Something
Thank you.
which relates to what she said is said by Shair कि दिल खोल कर इन लम्हों को जी लो यारो, दिल खोल कर इन लम्हों को जी लो यारो, जिंदगी अपना इतिहास फिर नहीं दोहराए. Means with the open heart, live all the moments of life, because life will not repeat its history. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kuldeep ji, for giving us a closure to what we have been discussing with your Sherry. I think it captures the essence and gives to us in a way that we can carry back into our day. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you, Kuldeep ji.
So-
And Vetri, are you going to share some Thirukural or?
Tomorrow, Ji, you can go ahead with side and close.
Yeah, for me, शायरी is Kuldeep sir, इससे मिलता जुलता है कि but who will translate? Let me first request someone so that Hasina ji or Niti ma'am. This translation also, I am a bit. So Niti ma'am is taking the charge. Okay. अर्ज किया है जनाब कुलदीप सर, आपकी तवज्जो चाहूंगा कि उदास लम्हों की ना कोई याद रखना, उदास लम्हों की कोई याद, उदास लम्हों की ना कोई याद रखना, तूफान में भी वजूद अपना संभाल रखना, तूफान में भी वजूद अपना संभाल रखना, और किसी की जिंदगी की खुशी हो तुम, किसी की जिंदगी की खुशी हो तुम, बस यही सोच कर तुम अपना ख्याल रखना, बस यही सोच कर तुम अपना ख्याल रखना.
What an apt shairi.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes. I'm just wondering what will be a very appropriate translation for that.
I know. I think let's go
To
line
do
by
justice.
line. You can never do fair justice to
I
these.
know, I know.
Kunenji, can we go line by line, please?
उदास लम्हों की ना कोई याद रखना.
Do not hold on to sad thoughts, sad moments.
तूफान में भी वजूद अपना संभाल रखना.
Even in a storm, hold on to your consciousness of, not consciousness, your, क्या word use करेंगे? It is
yourself,
not
your being,
yourself, your sense of judgment.
Yeah.
In challenging times, hold on to your sense of fair judgment even in challenging times.
किसी की जिंदगी की खुशी हो तुम,
You are a source of happiness for someone.
बस यही सोचकर तुम अपना ख्याल रखना.
Just remember that you are a source of happiness for someone, and therefore take care of yourself. Take good care of yourself. Thank you, Kunain sir. Thank you. And thank you everybody for being there today. And yes, I think we all should pledge about self-care and self-love today onwards.
That would be lovely. I think that would be
Thank you.
mission
Excellent session, Indu.
accomplished. Thank you, Major. Thank you.